Hello and welcome to our bonus episode for reaching 30 subscribers for the We What not We What wow
We did. We watched. We
yeah
all watched.
I was so because there's another podcast I watch, it's called the We Watch Wrestling Podcast, so let me try that again.
Oh, okay, okay.
I also did a victory lap in my head that I was like, oh, that sounded really good. And that's what happened. It's like the two roads diverged in the woods.
This one goes to the Dark Castle. This one goes to the Happy Meadow.
Yeah, exactly. I did the little whistle from Super Mario 3. It was like, oh, I'm doing so good. Hello, and welcome to our bonus episode for reaching 30 subscribers for the Wrestling Without Context podcast. I am your host, Sean, and I'm here with my good friend, Brian. Sorry.
That's me. Almost forgot my name.
Uh,
Oh no!
Yeah, for those of you at home,
Oh,
I'm just gonna keep recording. I've been telling Brian, I was like, I don't need notes. I don't need anything for this. I'm gonna be fine.
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you need notes for my name? Is that what you have to write down before each episode?
I have to remember. I mean, brain. I mean, Ryan. I mean,
ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, open up old wounds from our. Listen to our last episode to hear Brian sadness over his name. No, so like
man.
I said, I was like, we're not going to do a full opening. We're not going to do a full spiel. So I was trying to figure out how I was in my head again of like, do I say Brian's name? Because I know it's a call and response with my friend Brian.
Yeah, please.
And exactly. So I'm here with my good friend Brian.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me another. That's me. Sorry.
It's me.
It is you. Yeah. So we wanted to give you a little bonus content. Thank you so much for helping us get to 30 subscribers. Thank you all for the likes, a couple of comments and stuff like that. So thank you very much. So I wanted to do something. This popped into my brain while over the past couple of weeks, because we have seen the Yeti, we have seen El Gigante. So as we were talking about El Gigante in the last episode, as he popped up at Wrestle War 91, I was like, there is a particular match that I don't know if I would ever show Brian in the beginning stage of this podcast, but we are going to watch it now just so we can close that book on El Gigante. So for this bonus episode, I showed Brian WrestleMania 9's match between The Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez. This was WrestleMania 9, which took place in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Caesars Palace. The attendance was 15,000 people. It took place on April 4th, 1993. Other matches on this card were El Matador versus Papa Shango in the dark match. Pre-show
Papa
match.
Shango?
Papa Shango, yes. He is like James Bond, Live or Let Die, the voodoo guy with the face paint.
Okay.
With the top hat. He's
Cool.
basically like a voodoo shaman.
Okay.
He's also known as
Awesome.
this particular wrestler goes through very many iterations of his character. He comes back as oh god, Mustafa something. He's basically like an MMA fighter, and then he turns into like a Black Power group called the Nation of Domination, and then he basically develops his own real world persona, because he does own a strip club. He becomes known as the Godfather, and he comes to the ring with all his hoes as his pimp daddy.
Okay.
Yeah, he becomes very, very popular. So he goes from a voodoo doctor to an MMA fighter to a black militant to a pimp.
That's called character progression right there.
Yes. So speaking of culturally correct terms, the next actually I skipped over a match. So the opening match was the WWF Intercontinental title between Shawn Michaels and Tatanka, who is a Native American character. Then we have our tag team match between the Head Shrinkers, Fatu and Samu, who are Samoan, versus the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, who we saw last week.
Yep.
And then we had a singles match between Crush and Doink. I just love that
Awesome.
name, Doink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get Doink in there.
Yes, singles match between Razor Ramon and Bob Backlund. And then our WWF World Tag Team match was between Money Inc., Erwin R. Shyster, IRS, and Ted the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, versus the Mega Maniacs, Bruce Beefcake and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan making his return after filming Mr. Nanny. We had another singles match.
The millionaire guy, was he the guy in the Baywatch episode we watched?
No, that's Ric Flair.
Yeah, that was
A lot of heel wrestlers have money.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna see a lot. Our next match was Lex Luger versus Mr. Perfect, and then our match Giant Gonzalez versus the Undertaker, and then our main event was supposed to be Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, but then it turns into Yokozuna versus Hulk Hogan.
Oh
Uh,
wow,
yeah, that's
okay.
something we could talk about in a future episode. But what we wanted to talk about here was Giant Gonzalez versus the Undertaker. Uh, Giant Gonzalez had just debuted at 1993's Royal Rumble in that full bodysuit, and it's funny that we were talking about the Yeti with the bodysuit because they give Giant Gonzalez a
Oh,
bodysuit.
this is worse. This bodysuit is worse than the Mummy, in my opinion, than the Yeti. This I
So
would rather watch that bodysuit wrestle than this bodysuit wrestle.
you'd rather see someone wrapped in toilet paper than someone wrapped up.
Yes, 100%.
So,
100% I would rather watch that.
so I did sans my notes.
Uh-huh.
I did do research on this. So there was a documentary. So they had filmed behind the scenes footage WWF had for this, and they were going to release it, but they never did for whatever reason. And basically, last year they released the archival footage as sort of like a documentary, basically, of people talking about it. And so I got to
Okay.
see when Giant Gonzalez debuted at the 1993 Royal Rumble, and I remember when I watched this match, I was like, oh, that bodysuit. But then I saw the Royal Rumble. The thing that Brian and I kind of talked about, so like this bodysuit, for those of you at home, is basically like this spray painted muscle suit with like patches. It's supposed to be patches of hair, but I think at this point they were still spray painted on. And
Oh yeah.
and unfortunately, it like slightly covers his dong, basically. Like it's,
Just a
it's
little spray paint hair over there.
yeah, it's like basically this is like a giant merkin. For those of you that know what that is. But in this WrestleMania match, when he turns around, it is a line down his buttocks and basically just his bare ass, which I thought was like, oh my god, that's just so it's so distracting. Because every
For
time
as much money as WWE has, like put a little into the costume here,
I
please.
mean, we saw, so they were at Caesar's Palace. They put all that money into the set and
They
getting people.
did.
Yeah, so that was
They
someone
had a
mentioned.
vulture. They had a vulture. They could have saved money on the vulture and got him a real butt.
So per the documentary, basically WWE had gone into an agreement with Caesar's Palace that they would do sort of promotion and do this show, basically bringing WrestleMania there as Las Vegas was trying to up its credibility as they brought wrestling into this, and I'm sure this match
Mm.
really helped. Excuse me, but basically uh they got WWE got access to like all these animals that Caesars had. So in the beginning of the pay-per-view,
Oh.
uh they have like a Julius Caesar and a Cleopatra mascot, like they're in full regale.
Hmm.
They come out on an elephant. They bring everybody, they bring out the announcers on like carts, basically like how they would bring out Cleopatra back in the day. Uh, which led to a very funny part is they bring Bobby the Brain Heenan out and he is riding a camel backwards. And he's like, no,
Amazing.
yeah, he's like, no, let me off, let me off, let me off. And then once he finally gets down, he's like hunched over and Macho Man lifts up his toga to show these like weird blue underwear that that Bobby's
What?
yeah, so and to which they correctly say in the documentary, the bigger fool Bobby felt he could make himself, the more entertained people would be.
Sure, I get that.
So like they use elephants, they use camels, and then they show in the behind the scenes footage of this vulture. They was like, oh, a vulture that goes directly with the Undertaker. We can use that.
Hmm.
And the Undertaker in the documentary is like, I thought it was the shits. He's like, I thought it was gonna peck. He's like, I thought it was gonna peck me. I thought it was gonna fly off, which it eventually does. Thankfully, not while he's with him, but it eventually
Hmm.
does try and fly off. It's like, nope, too many people, gotta go.
Yeah.
So, but going back to this suit, if you watch the Rumble footage, they had like actual pull, like taped on or something like that, glued on hair, and there are two patches for his ass. So it's
Really?
yeah, so it looks a little bit better. Like here, let me see if I could pull it up. For those of
And
you,
they just didn't use it for the match?
I don't know what happened to the suit as they were doing it. Uh, giant, because like it looks a little better.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find a good photo of it. Oh, yeah, perfect. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you, Brian.
Okay.
For those of you at home. Uh,
That would have been so much better.
Yeah, you can kind of. It's a little hard to see, but like you can see, like it's an actual hair. It's got like
Uh-huh.
it's got shoulder pads and stuff like that, and it's like
Yeah.
they just lost it for some reason. So yeah, like this looks a little better, but still, it's got the painted on muscles and stuff like that. Like here, click on this, like you can kind of see it. Like it
That I
just
could forgive. That I could forgive. But the painted on hair was just, I can't forgive the painted on hair. That
well,
looks really good. I'd watch that match.
yeah. Here, hang on. So like
And this is one they use in the ring somewhere else, but not for this one.
yeah, so this is the Royal Rumble. This is when he first debuts.
Okay.
So again, like
Got
something
it.
happens. Uh, but like they looked at his physique when he got in. It's like he needs to look more intimidating. So what's more intimidating than spray on muscles? And like no one really sort of takes responsibility for like everyone was like it looks like shit, but still it's like you didn't need to do this. And
He's a
like
big guy. He has his own muscles.
and I think they call the group like creative services for like them, and it's like it looks so much better in the drawings. I'm like, but again, like you have the ability to not do it. It's not like it's like, oh, we spent all this money,
Mm-hmm.
I guess we might as well do it anyways. So they're trying to get a WWE just had this big thing about giant people and monsters and stuff like that, and we're coming out of the '80s and stuff like that, and so they wanted someone to
Mm-hmm.
go against the Undertaker because who else can tower over the Undertaker and make him look
Right?
because the Undertaker is
Tiny.
yeah,
He looked tiny compared to him.
yeah. So the match, Undertaker comes out, and as Brian correctly noticed, we do get the green smoke like we saw from the Yokozuna match, as Brian correctly called it, the Undertaker's farts coming out. So he was
We got the
just,
farts. We got the farts coming out of Caesar's Palace here.
yeah, you got the beans, basically just Undertaker eating beans back there. Going, I got to build myself up. So we get Undertaker and Paul Bearer and the Vulture coming out. Undertaker takes off his full regale,
Paul
and
Bearer. That's his manager's name. Paul Bearer. Oh,
yes,
that's right.
perfect. Real name Percy Pringle.
Percy Pringle.
Yeah,
Such a good name too. Oh
exactly.
man.
So I'll talk about this when we do a full-fledged episode, but I've been going through an audiobook called Death of the Territories, and it talks about sort of WWF's comeuppance in the territory system and how they were different than most other companies. Because like Southern Wrestling was more wrestling holds and suplexes and body slams, and
Mm.
Hulk Hogan came in and the book correctly calls it a brawling sort of style where it's just a lot of punches and
Mm.
kicks and stuff like that. And while not being
Okay.
aesthetically pleasing, it's something people can follow and it's a little bit quote
Yeah.
unquote more believable. I don't think there was a single wrestling move in this entire match. I mean,
There was a couple clotheslines hitting the ropes and coming out and like trying to knock him down that way.
but I will call that a brawling stance. Like there,
Oh, I see what you mean. Wrestling, as in
like there was no real like
holds and stuff like
hold or
that.
stuff like that. Like we got so
Mm-hmm.
the Undertaker uh start is looking up to Giant Gonzalez, and he keeps trying to punch him, and I don't know, Undertaker's usually they call it being snug with his punches, which is mean he can get real close while making it look good while not hurting your opponent, and he just wasn't getting
Mm-hmm.
anywhere close to his face, and Giant
Yeah.
Gonzalez just doesn't know how to sell to save his life, and is like a cartoon character where it's like like he's just like he, as we notice, like he's getting hit.
He's a Sasquatch, though. He's a Sasquatch. That's how Sasquatch would react.
Yeah,
You've seen the
so
Harry and the Hendersons.
I'll tell the story now. So the way that the schedule would work is so they would do their televised tapings, and then they would have, they call them house shows where they're non-televised, but you would hit different towns and stuff like that. So sometimes you would have an
Mm.
afternoon and a night show. So you would do one like a show at 1 o'clock and then do a show at 7 o'clock, but it would be in different towns. So you would do your 1 o'clock show,
Okay.
be done at 4, drive to a closer town and stuff like that, do your show. So you would, there was no points in them changing out of their gear at this point, so they would all hop in a van and basically put coats on. And I forgot where they say they were,
Got it.
but they were in some mountainous, snowy area, and someone in the car had to pee, and Giant Gonzalez was in his full suit. Oh, they were in Canada. That's where they were.
Oh,
That's part of it.
okay.
So they're like, hey, we need to get Giant out of the car, get him to run up into the woods, and when the next car comes, have him run out like this. And they were like, no. And
That's
someone was like,
amazing.
they didn't do it because it was like, no, we're in freaking Canada, and we're probably gonna run into the one person who just went buck hunting and tries to shoot him. So, but like, and that's sort of the thing with like El Gigante. I can't remember what his full name is. Here, let me see if I can pull it up right now. What his actual name is. He's a very sweet man. He's a very, what they call a
hmm
gentle giant, and it's not pulling
hmm
itself up. Let's see what his name is. He was former NBA basketball player. I think he was on the Atlanta Hawks at one point.
Oh
He
wow.
he, he
Okay.
gets signed into WCW, and then it's got like his career does not last that long. He starts in 1990 and ends in 1996, so 3 years after this. He was a legit
Okay.
7'6" and 430 pounds. I do not see
Wowzer.
his real name, but he was from Argentina, and he unfortunately passed away in 2010. So
Oh okay.
yeah, usually these giants don't last very long, unfortunately,
Mm.
due to vast medical problems. But like Giant Gonzalez, it wasn't for lack of trying, but like he could move
Yeah.
for a guy his size, and he was a little nimble. Another thing that sort of threw me in the Royal Rumble, Giant Gonzalez had full on boots, which I thought looked better
He
than these
did.
like these weird like little tennis shoes
Oh,
he
the
had on.
shoes that he was wearing this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, and I think those had hair on them too. And I'm like, man, there's just so many like good things about that, and it just hit this. Maybe they just didn't care at this point. Maybe they're just like, whatever. So at one point, Undertaker gets up on the top rope and he does the move. The move is called Old School, where we saw in the Yokozuna match where he walks on the top rope and jumps off and clotheslines the guy.
hmm
But that's basically the only real move we get in the match. They try and fight back and forth, and eventually they end up out in the ring, and that's where Giant Gonzalez starts throwing. It's more so the Undertaker is running straight into those ring steps.
Into yes, into the steps.
Like that is a skill. Like Mick Foley has a bit where he locks, it looks like he locks up his leg, so he doesn't like,
hmm
some people will go full shoulder into it and just like go, oh. Mick Foley will like lock his leg and he'll like go over it. It looks really cool. I'm sure we'll see a match when he does it. But Undertaker gets thrown twice into him, and at one point the steps roll over back onto him, and you can just tell he's
On
just
to
like,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like, oh my god. This. So they get back in the ring, and again, this is how short the match is and how few things actually do happen. Undertaker does start fighting back through the power of the
hmm
urn, and then the
Yes.
yes, the man El Gigante is not El Gigante, Giant Gonzalez. See, all these giants like El Gigante, the Giant, Big Show, like it's something that's very interesting in wrestling because you'll have wrestlers that'll go especially now, like they'll have their independent name. Like the one I talk about, his name is Kevin Steen, and I always
hmm
call him Kevin Steen, but he's been in the WWE now for over a decade, and his name is Kevin Owens. But it's like I still kind of call
Oh.
him Kevin Steen and stuff like that. So it kind of happens in my brain when I'm describing these people. So, uh, Giant Gonzalez's manager, Harvey Whippleman, not his real name, but
Okay.
a great heel manager name, basically gets up on the ring and throws a rag into the ring. And it looks like a pair of dirty,
Yes.
it looks like a pair of dirty underwear. It's like, what did he just throw in his tiny whities for? Uh, Giant Gonzalez then hits Paul Bearer and then picks up the rag, and as the announcers are trying to go, what is that smell? What is that smell? Like they're all trying to just sort of like, and it's
Identify it. Identify it.
yeah, so then it's chloroform. As we soon found out, because Eligante just takes the rag and tries to murder the Undertaker, and as Macho Man clearly says in the match, that could kill a guy. And you're just like, Jesus Christ, man, there are kids watching this. They're scared enough by Giant Gonzalez and a dead man fighting. Now he's actually
And
trying to
dead
kill it.
man.
Exactly.
You can't kill what's already dead.
And so the referee, Bill Alfonso, who I know we may have seen him as another referee, but you've definitely seen him as Taz's manager from that ECW match. So
Yep.
that is the former Bill Alfonso. He waits an incredibly long time to disqualify Giant Gonzalez. I'm like, dude, he's trying to kill him. If this doesn't represent a disqualification, what are we doing? Uh, and eventually he does call for the bell, and the Undertaker does fall out. He falls to the ground and is not moving. And now the announcers are losing their minds, thinking the Undertaker's been killed right in the middle of the
He's
ring.
dead.
Yeah, no. Macho Man's like, oh my God, we have a problem. He's sitting in the ring. We got a murder. Why is no one handcuffing this man? And again, like it just
Don't
started.
worry. The security, they do come eventually.
Eventually, yeah, they were on their donut break.
After the murder.
I'd be lying if I said there was a risk ratio sort of scenario in my brain where it's you get a call and it's like, how quickly do I need to respond to this? Like we have certain priorities that we have to respond in a certain amount of time. It's like, I think I can take my time. This is, but sometimes they'll be like, all right, it's two people fighting. All right, I'm on my way.
Chloroform in a wrestling match. That's about a 15-minute. We'll get there soon.
I'm pretty sure they say it over there as like, you might want to pick it up. They're in, well, this is what happens. We get one phone call of someone fighting.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, you don't know who's calling and stuff like that. It might not be bona fide. And then it's like you're driving. It's like, we're actually going to make this. The dispatch goes back over the radio. And he's like, we're going to make this in progress. You might want to pick it up. We're getting multiple calls now. So it's like, it's verified that someone's fighting in the street. It's like, crap.
Okay.
Yeah. So you hit the siren and it's like, okay. So Undertaker is, this is another thing that sort of threw me. Everyone around the ring has some form of toga due to it being in Caesar's Palace and stuff like that, including the extras and the EMTs who are forced to wear this.
Yeah.
So you bring out the EMT who's wearing a toga as well, and they're like pulling the Undertaker onto this thing, onto the stretcher, and just wheeling him out. And it's like, well, I guess he's dead. And Giant Gonzalez is in the ring. They give it like a beat, and then all of a sudden you hear the Undertaker's gong go off, which how the Undertaker can control the sound system, or how someone backstage is like, oh my God, he's coming back out, hit his music. So Undertaker,
hit the gong.
Exactly. He just got some guy waiting.
He could come back to life.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, they keep referring to him as dead, like the dead man, which becomes his moniker later in his career. But then they're worried he's dying. I'm like, what is it, guys?
Yep.
So then the gong goes off and Undertaker runs back out and fights back Giant Gonzalez, who then finally goes to the floor and gets let out by security, and Undertaker poses in the ring. So, and then again, they're like,
and the Giant is like, what's going on? Why is this happening? What's happening here?
Well, we were talking about this during the match. So like Giant Gonzalez doesn't do a ton to the Undertaker. He punches him, he kicks him, he throws him into the steps. And at the end, he's like, I don't know what to do. I'm all out of ideas. And so then he's like, all right, let's try the chloroform. And then it's like he chloroforms him, and then Undertaker comes back out. He's just got this dumb look on his face. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I've already tried to kill him. Like he's not scared.
I already killed him once, so I have to do it again?
Exactly. Like he just like couldn't, because like every time he got punched, he just like had this like wide-eyed view of like, oh my God. Like he was doing somersaults in his brain. So
those are tough punches.
Exactly. Punches to the chest, punches to the groin. So Brian, what did you think of WrestleMania 9's Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez?
It was messy. It was messy.
I think
it was fine, but I don't have to watch this one again.
Yeah, no, I think the term you used was rough when we watched it.
It was rough. Yeah,
I was like,
it was rough.
So Undertaker eventually goes on this WrestleMania win streak. I can't remember what it ends at, but it eventually goes up to like 25-0. And I think this is like number 3 on the list. And so there's a producer who's like, anytime the Undertaker's package already went to a dirty place in my head. Anytime
we had that camera. We had that camera view.
Yeah, so unfortunately, when the Undertaker's being let out, the camera is right in his groin the whole time he's coming out. And I'm like, you can move, right? Or unless he's like just laying on the stroller or the stretcher with him, like no one's gonna know. So
this is the tank shot.
Exactly, and every time the footage of this match pops up on his win streak, he turns to the producer and stares at him like, I can't believe you put me in this fucking match. Because like like I talked about Yokozuna, like unfortunately the Undertaker like moves really well and works with the bigger guys, so he always ends
Hmm.
up working with the people that don't work well and the bigger guys. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh
sure.
my god, I gotta get a good match out of this. It's like when you get that scene partner, it's like I gotta get something out of you, and like like
Yup.
I was put with you because someone else feels that I could get something out of you, but unfortunately, like
Right.
you're just making my
You're
life more
you're not giving
difficult.
me anything here.
Exactly. So,
Work with me. Work with me.
yeah. So again, that was WrestleMania 9. It's known for other things, like I said, the Bret Hart, Yokozuna, and Hulk Hogan. Hulk. So something again that pops up as I'm researching. So Hulk Hogan shows up to this pay-per-view. He's building this tag team match with a black eye. It's like this, basically, like his, and this is what happened. And see if this sounds familiar. This is legit what he said happened. He was on a jet ski. He was riding the jet ski very quickly and fell off it. And something weird
No.
happened where the jet ski was still moving and the jet ski came and hit him in the face. He was then rescued
I
by a
think
life.
that's a scene straight out of Baywatch.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. This is literally Baywatch. I was like, wait a minute. So, and then apparently he had to wrestle this match to save a gym or something like that. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. They do say that art mimics life, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
again,
why they wrote the episode. That was a true story. It was based on his life. That's why they wrote that episode.
exactly. Oh god. So I think they said it was the stunt coordinator of Baywatch too that was with them. It was him, his tag team partner
Oh
Bruce the
my
Barber
gosh.
Beefcake, and this one other guy and stuff like that. There was other rumors that him and Randy weren't getting along, and Randy Savage punched him straight in the face, which I like to think is what actually happened.
I
Because
like that.
because people were like, he's like, I broke my orbital bone. I was like, you wouldn't be able to do anything with your face, much less wrestle and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's that Hulk Hogan thing, and then El Gigante versus Undertaker for all the bad things. Again, this is considered like one of the worst matches of all time. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it doesn't last very long. The show
No.
itself only runs about 3 hours, so if like this was a shit sandwich thrown in the middle of a 5 hour show, maybe I would have had a problem with it. But again, like just watching this one particular match, it wasn't that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So anything before we depart, Brian? Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Are you happy to
Nothing.
close the chapter
Nothing on my end.
on El Gigante Giant Gonzalez?
Yeah, I'm happy. Starting with the Yeti, it was kind of a wild run for him.
Yeah, I know.
So,
We'll see if he comes back up again. He won't. So thank you very much for joining.
okay.
Okay. Again, this is thank you very much for joining us for our bonus episode. Thank you for all of you that subscribe. If you haven't already and you're watching this episode, please subscribe down below, follow us on social media, and we will see you for episode 17. Bye.
Bye.
Brian doesn't know about suplex slams. He thinks a wrist lock is a boy band. Can't tell a moonsault from a flying knee. He's clueless about the ring's legacy. He called a steel cage a fancy shit. Said lucha masks are hats for your head. He thinks the Undertaker's just a grave guy. This poor dude's living a wrestling lie. Brian doesn't know the ropes or the show. Tag teams and belts are all Greek to his soul. Every finisher he calls a weak spin move. Brian doesn't know he's got nothing to prove. Missed WrestleMania 4 and in class. Confused a pile driver with a chair to crash. He thought kayfabe was a type of pie. Stop pretending, kid. We all